Well, hello. My name is Gant and welcome back to Lucid9. Last episode, we were talking with Elizabeth Oshiro and we learned why she hated us, you know what I mean? And all that jazz. And then, we remembered the lapse after seeing a phone that was in our apartment. We remember the night that Haru died. You know what I mean? The whole thing and why Yahiko was in that alleyway and everything. And now we're in school for some reason, which it's weird because how did we get here? Weren't we just at the apartment? Anyway, let us continue. And there goes the bell. Finally! Gosh, I thought the class would never end. Don't forget, big test tomorrow. My class groans in unison, but I don't join them. I accept my fate. I'll just suck at math forever, so I might as well not study. Great. Now I sound like Yama. Wait, who the fuck am I? Yama. Big dummy. Is this guy or girl? Whiny dummy. Angsty dummy. Dummy that I haven't seen since the train accident. Yeah, I'm worried. Is that pathetic? I feel like that's pathetic. After the words he said, I should be mad at him. How could he say things like that? How could he use that kind of weak spot against me? Am I Rui right now? Like, this sounds like Rui. If this is Rui, I'm gonna do her voice. I still trust him, I guess. I can't seem to stop trusting him. Besides, if I'm honest, I said some terrible stuff too. I just want to talk it out. We haven't had an argument this bad since Misaki left. I know everything will be fine if we can just talk it out. But why do I need to want to take the first step? Okay, I was insensitive. I know I was insensitive, but doesn't Yama know that I just want what's best for him? He never really been able to take care of himself. He's basically a big overgrown baby. Really attractive big overgrown baby. My cheeks flushed, remembering how he suddenly wrapped his arms around me and shielded my eyes from Shoji. Whoa, okay Rui, cut it out. That's just pathetic. Like, OMG, oh my gosh. Someone who I know died right in front of me, and instead I'm talking about my crush. Is this what they meant by coping mechanism? Anyway, Yama, baby Yama. Or is that why Yama got so upset? Because I keep thinking that he needs to be taken care of. I don't know. It's been so long since we've been so distant. I don't even know what to do. Is this what twins feel like when they're separated? Lost? Even if they technically had other friends, like certain meddlesome roommates whose names I won't mention, but may or may not be named, be called Kari. I'm sorry, I'm just dumb right now. Oh, fuck, man, I'm just dumb right now. But anyways, being apart is like walking without shoes or doing homework with a pen instead of a pencil. It's not seriously bad, but it's just weird, not comfortable. Maybe I should just talk to him. And from the way things are going at the school, it's better not to live with regrets. But at the same time, can I really do it? Who's it? I'm gonna go with girl's voice. Hey, Rui! A classmate propped in front of me with a cheery wave. I totally forgot her name, but I instinctively returned her smile. Hey, what's up? We're heading to GFC. You game? My smile falters. GFC. What I wouldn't give for a trip to GFC with everyone there. Sorry, I think I'll pass. Aw, party. Don't be a party pooper. Come on. I really can't, but thanks for the invite. You're not gonna talk to Ari Hiraga, are you? What? Where did that come from? I don't know. You used to hang out with her. She's still eating her fucking beets. I glanced in Ari's direction out of the corner of my eye. Even though the school's technically ended, she's calmly sitting on her seat, munching a peach. I used to just go up and talk to her because of her quietness, how she was bullied, how she was labeled. It really reminded me of Yama. I should still reach out to her. I should defend her. But it just hurts. What? Okay. Is that why you're with me? Sticking around someone you know you're better than at everything probably makes you feel really good about yourself. It's not true. It can't be. I wouldn't have done something like that, right? Didn't some philosopher once came up with a theory that every act someone did was only done to help themselves? That there's no such thing as a real good deed? Helping elderly people is just to make yourself feel better. Giving to the homeless is just to get attention. Loving family is just to repay them for raising you. That in the end, everything is selfish and selfless love doesn't exist. No, that can't be possible. He must have been a real moper. Rui! Huh? Oh, sorry. I just remembered that I left my laundry in the washing machine. The lie passes smoothly from my lips. What's even scary is that I don't feel a hint of guilt. Oh, I see. That happens to me all the time. I know, right? I should really have set an alarm. Well, I guess we'll get going. See ya. Have a good time. The moment she exits the room, though, I instantly drop my face. I'm not gonna lie, that's how I am when I serve a customer at Yogurtland. Even though you have a mask and you shouldn't be, you know what I mean? You don't have to smile. I still smile. And once they leave, I'm like, ugh, that fucker. Like, seriously, we get like people who are fucking dumb as shit in Yogurtland, and ugh. Great, now I'm a fake, just like the rest of them. I'm gonna go with Yahiko. I don't know why. You're looking a bit under the weather. What's up? Oh no, it's Akira. Fuck. Akira suddenly leaps from beneath my desk. I smile in relief. I think it's real this time. Hey Akira, should I ask why you were hiding under my desk? Well, I'd tell you, but then I have to kill you. So, drama club? Huh? I don't think so. Not today. She stares at me, not in a judging way, but definitely searching for answers. Remember what you promised? Yeah, but he's not even at school. That's exactly why you should come. We're doing confidence exercises. That way, after club, you can go right to his apartment. What? Today? Well, no time like the present. I can't do that. Not in our current situation. The situation won't change unless you make it, Rui. It's a universal fact. The law of Iridia? Precisely. An object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Currently, the object that is your and Yama's relationship is heading straight into a black hole where it will be crushed into tiny bits. Or create a time-space paradox that unravels the very fabric of the universe. I point dramatically to the sky. She grins in satisfaction. Exactly. So, you should try, as soon as possible. I lower my head. I'll try. I say this mainly to appease her. Honestly, I don't want anything to do with Yama, not anymore. Even thinking about him hurts to the point where I feel like I can barely breathe. Rui, it'll all be okay. You'll look back on this day and think, well, I was as silly as a goose in a soap opera. My throat feels sore. My throat feels sore. I want to believe her, honestly. I don't know why. When I saw my throat feels sore, I'm like, I gotta sound like this. Thanks, Agent Angle. Oh, It's nothing, Agent Goose. Both Silly Goose and Mother Goose. Both Silly Goose and Mother Goose. She squeezes my arm, my shoulders comfortingly. I'm going to the club, okay? Come when you can. Everyone misses you. Okay, have a great time. As always. She squeezes my shoulder again and disappears into the hallway. I should feel terrible for lying, but I can't bring myself to feel anything at all. I take my bag and exit the school. I feel more like something out of a habit than my own conscious choice. I actually don't come to my senses until I reach the school entrance. Why am I here? There's no reason for me to leave. I live on campus. I don't have any activities, and I'm not going to eat anywhere. Oh, right. The idiots and I used to hang out here, usually before a trip to GFC. But there isn't anyone now. Oh shit, what the fuck was that? I turn back to the school, but a sudden movement catches the corner of my eye. Huh? What was that? I head around the corner, but there's nothing except a trash bin. Weird. I must be tired. I think about heading back to my dorm to rest, but a curious suggestion makes me hesitant. Now that she supplies the idea of visiting Yama today, I can't get it out of my head. It's a terrible idea. He hates me. He doesn't want to see me. He's tired of me, right? But who's reminding that idiot to pay his utility bill on time? Who's dragging his sorry butt through school? Who's keeping him from collapsing out of exhaustion? Akira, why? Fine, I'll go, just for a few seconds. Pop in, make sure that some nuclear disaster hasn't happened. Pop out. Easy, right? I should stop asking rhetorical questions. They tend to give me the answers that I don't want. Huh? I turn around, peeping down the road. Just normal people, normal cars, normal houses. Nothing out of the ordinary. I must just be really tired. Okay, what's going on? I tried to walk closer to the street and blend into the crowd, but I swear there's this constant shadow on the edge of my sights. No matter what way I turn, I can't seem to see it. There again! There again! Is Ruri going to get kidnapped? Or does she have psychological problems? I start to pick up the pace, waving into more populated streets. Still there! Whatever's going on, I need to get out of here. Maybe I'm just being stupid, but I swear that shadow's actually following me. I jog back to the school, only stopping for a breath when everything seems safe. No sign of that person, whoever they were. Good. What was that? It looks like they were behind the school, but that's not possible, is it? The only entrance is the gate. How did they get in without seeing? The figure starts running straight at me. I don't even have time to think. I immediately sprint away, heading back to the main street. If anything can protect me, this crowd can. I grind to a halt, somewhere in a mass of people gathered by the sidewalk. When I glance behind me, I still see the figure hanging around the edge of the buildings. I can't even get a distinct outline, but I swear that I'm seeing two glinting eyes in the shadows, and they seem to be looking right at me. I shuddered, pressed myself as close to the crowd as possible. Thankfully, when the stoplight turns green, the figure doesn't follow. But it was a little strange. Why does that person seem so familiar? You know what? It is going to be someone we know, right? I come to a start when my head's pounding terribly. This must be what it's like to have a hangover. My eyes absently scan the surroundings out of habit. City, nighttime, sitting on a bench, cool breeze, a clear sky, and weather that I haven't enjoyed in different circumstances. That's right. That's right, I lapsed. Okay, this is Yama. This has to be Yama. Ruri doesn't lapse. Or does she? Damn it, if it's Yama following fucking Ruri, I'm gonna be pissed. I draw out my phone, almost lazily, my brain still fuzzy as I check the time. 10 p.m.? I've been out of it for how many hours? 14? The entire day gone. No record of where I went or what I've been doing. I check my bank records on my phone. Nothing new. Photos, notes, calendar, nothing. Pockets. Doesn't look like anything stolen. At least nothing super important. No messages, no call, whatever incoming or outgoing. Unless they've been deleted. Is that it? Ah, wait. Something's in my jacket pocket. I pull out a slim phone that's cool and smooth against my palm. Right, the troublesome phone of Harubunya. Harubunya, who was brutally murdered. Harubunya, who had the latest phone model. Harubunya, who, after being murdered, somehow had his latest phone model make its way into my apartment. If this doesn't raise more than a few questions, nothing will. I don't seem to care. Why don't I seem to care? Well, I guess it's not like I'm going to get my answers by just standing around here. I should head back to my apartment, take another look, see if I missed something. Now that I'm actually thinking clearly. Almost a little too clearly, actually. But what's this? As I draw near to my apartment complex, I notice a line of police cars surrounding the entrance gate, lights flaring and sirens blaring. Oh, fuck. Dude, Yama, phone, throw it. Throw your phone, Yama, fucking, Yama. In the center of the lights stands none other than Shigeru Ishimoto, deep in conference with the police officer. I recognize him from a little trip in the forest. As per usual, Shigeru is practically screaming her lungs out with every word. Are you not cognizant? Are you not cognizant on the impetus by which have come? Officer Kobayashi, the Bureau has contended that this student must be incarcerated under suspicion of the recent homicides. So I'm aware. I harbor my own suspicions. And you contend that such an intelligently impaired ersat for a humanoid Slav can possess the sophisticated genius necessary to orchestrate the mass murders of his associates. Wait, is he talking about me? Are they talking about me? If the police are here, if the police are talking about me, they're waiting to arrest me. You know him more than I do. What is your opinion on the matter? He was my errand boy. You claim to be good at reading people, and are you saying that you misread the suspect? A muscle in Shigeru's jaw twitches. She stuffs her hands in her pockets and mutters something that I barely catch. I am not wrong. Then you agree that Yama Ishimoto is a prime suspect. What? Would she? Shigeru, the legitimate detective, does she believe that I'm the killer? She wouldn't, right? The emptiness in my chest promptly dissipates, replaced by pounding fear. If even Shigeru believes it, doesn't that mean that it's true? Yama, shut your bitch ass up. Unless you were outside, like, stalking Ruri, it's not you, okay? I agree. She agrees? I agree? The universal agrees? I try to step back into the shadows. My feet fumbles, and I clench desperately at the wall, staring blankly before me. I'm glad we're on the same page. Now, we'll submit a request to Lemniscates to track his phone. The time such an action would take is too substantial. Bearing the convict conservatively shares his location with us. The process can take up to 48 hours. Then, we better get started. He motions to several officers standing by. They're gathered around him in a loose circle. Wordlessly, I turn on my heels and sprint away. Where to? I can't even say. My shoes seem to move automatically, even as my mind stands still. Corner here, turn here, stop here. Yeah, that's right. I'm not just an ordinary high school student who woke up from an overlong nap. I'm a murder suspect, a guilty conscience, someone who holds the phone of a murder victim in his hands after the victim's death. Shigori, she's not the type to lie to protect someone. I should have expected that answer from her. Then if I accept it, should I be turning myself in? I grind to a halt at the subway platform, sliding into the nearest bench. Alone, in a crowd. Isn't that the expression? Hanging around in public is probably the worst place for me to be. As soon as they get a hold of my picture, my face will be broadcast across the nation. Who knows? Maybe it's already posted on Patter. Maybe Misaki or Yahiko have already stumbled across it, and just like Shigori, turning one by one. Not a friend, not an errand boy, not an academy student, a murder convict. Why would they leave? Why would they all just go? Because you're not guilty. The voice is almost deafening in my head, resounding in any corner in my brain. I almost start at the sound. But what if I want doesn't matter? The evidence says otherwise. Killing happening at night. The culprit, someone who knows the security procedures of the academy well. Someone who can fake sanity too well. What if, when I'm sleeping, my personality changes and I get up, sneak across town? You know that's not true. Alright, that's enough. I close my eyes and quiet my thoughts, waiting for an image to materialize. Sure enough, a familiar figure steps onto fuck. Let me drink my water. Sure enough, a familiar figure steps on the scene. What are you doing here? I'm here to bail you out, kid. You know, last time I checked, you were supposed to be keeping me sane, not, putting voices in my head. Ha! I can only know you sane. I can only keep you sane if there's any sanity to keep, kid. Touché. You know, what you're feeling right now, that's dissociation. Dissociation. You're subconsciously alienating yourself from your own emotions due to anticipating future trauma. I know what dissociation is. I like it. You what? It's a painkiller. What is there to like? Wasn't there to like? Snap out of it, kid. You can only get to the bottom of this if you dedicate yourself to it, 100%. You can't be afraid to feel. I hope you know how cheesy you sound right now. Will it make you feel? Feel what? Exasperated? You can't give up, kid. Not now. Why not? What's there to discover? That I'm a murderer? A fugitive of justice? Look, do you honestly believe that you're the murderer? Yes. Well, clearly you actually don't, or you wouldn't have dragged me here. Would have got my time for now. You got my time for now, kid. Make it worth it. I start a little at the accuracy of this Ryota. I spend way too much time with him. So, the non-hypothesis is that I'm the serial killer. And the working hypothesis is that I'm not. Good start. What does that mean? It means I just need to find evidence that I'm not the killer. But you won't settle for that, will you? You want to find out who's really behind all of this. I might not even know him. You're kidding, right? There's this huge piece of evidence hanging right in front of you that... Meh, you know what? It's more fun if I watch you figure it out on your own. I find myself becoming intrigued. How much do I know that I think I don't? Enough to solve what the police, with all of their resources and brain power and authority, still can't? The police are limited by a little something called bureaucracy, you know? Besides, remember, your advantage. My advantage? Over the police? You have a core piece of evidence that they know nothing about. What might that be? Fuck. Okay. You gotta think right now. You gotta be big brain right now. Okay, 2 that are not. School gossip, nope. Dashing looks, no. There's victim psychology profiles and Harubunya's phone. Looking at Harubunya's phone, like, it's basically nothing. We just saw it's basically the Happy Club, and we know their fucking psychological profiles. You gave me information on the students' psychological problems. Would they know that much? Would they know that in so much depth? Why wouldn't they? You think that they wouldn't have interrogated me for those profiles? Well, if you put it that way, get good, kid. Okay, fucking Harubunya's phone. I have Haru's phone right here with me, because it was in my apartment. Bingo. The police don't have his phone in their physical possessions. Not like you. They don't have the same hints. Now, to be fair, they were buzzing around your apartment like vultures around a cadaver, so something's definitely attracted their attention. But it's not like anyone else was at Haru's murder besides you and the killer. At least, no one who witnessed it firsthand. Not only that, but the police didn't come into my apartment until just today. I found this phone just tucked away in my apartment. It had to have gotten there somehow. So, whoever put the phone in my apartment, code this, since there was no sign of a break-in. No, news the code, since there were no signs of a break-in. And? Well, you're basically saying that the killer is someone close to me because they had access to my apartment. Yes, and? You don't think that it could be, I don't know, me? Oh, really? Then, how did you lure the victims out even though you weren't close to them? Or, didn't you remember taking the phone from Haru, or removing its battery, or putting it in your drawer? Balance of probability remains that you would have remembered at least one of those events. Even so, we are not seriously entertaining this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde play, kid. You don't know your own medical report. The lapses are a problem with your memory, not your behavior. It could have changed since then. Do you even know how sad it is that you're losing an argument with yourself? Let's move on, kid. We only got so much time. Even I had to admit that it's an unlikely scenario. Right, so then what? So, assuming that you're not the reason why Haru's phone is in your apartment, then how did it get there? Well, someone put it in there. Good. Who and why? The killer, to frame me. That would have been the only other person with access to Haru's phone before the police arrived, and the police wouldn't have planted the phone in my apartment. Hey, now we're getting somewhere. Even if you found the phone, the killer wants to make certain that you wouldn't know what it was for. Why did that fail? What? Well, you found out it was Haru's phone because when you turned it on, that was clearly not what the killer's planned. So, he's saying that the killer didn't know about, the wall charging feature, because that's exactly how he turned it on. The killer might have taken out the battery, but he didn't know that I could power the phone just by plugging it into a wall charger. Which means, he knows about some technology, but not all. He knew enough to take out the battery, but not enough for the latest features. Ha! Good going. You might actually solve this for real. See? You already know one thing about the killer that the police don't. Hooray! Let's throw a party! Aw, suck it up, kid. There's another weird thing about Haru's case that you need to remember. Happen to know what it is? The location of his death. Or the method of his death, time of his death. No, it would be location, right? Because he had the fucking tracker on the phone. Let me drink my water, because doing Mr. Ryota's voice, even though it's, my deep voice, fucking hurts my throat. Like, my throat's fucking dry as fuck right now. Location of deaths. He was killed in the alley in District 6, not in the forest. Good. And? It's a place with too many potential witnesses around. Even though the forest had police on patrol, it's not like they can secure a large portion of it, much less the entire forest. He probably knows the forest like the back of his hand. He could have easily snuck around them. A sad truth, but good. Although it would have been risky to take a screaming victim to an area swarming with personnel. Would the forest have been swarming with personnel 2 days ago? No. No, they wouldn't. Remember, the fucking suicide. And like, when they took fucking Yahiko. Wait, let me see. Yes. No, there was a major police related event. No, the fucking accident. No, there was a prominent accident elsewhere. The police can't be everywhere at once. Oh? That day was also the day of Shoji Hashigawa's death, right on the train tracks. Then I can't imagine that the group at the forest would be anything more than a skeleton crew. Well, technically, those would be two entirely different divisions. One with violent crimes, the other is probably with civil affairs or something. Usually yes, but it might have been reported as a murder. Yahiko was arrested and interrogated for it. Did you see how easily he walked out of it? Must have been a witness interrogation, not a suspect. Must have been a witness interrogation, not as a suspect. Well, it's either that or his parents were influential enough to... Okay, we're getting off topic here. Let's just settle it like this. It's likely they would have handled by the Violent Crimes Division, because it involved the death of another academy student in the wake of multiple student disappearances. Furthermore, there were 3 witnesses at the scene, you, Yahiko, and Rui, and all of you are also academy students. Happy? Why didn't I think of that? You just did. So, why does that matter? The forest was still a fairly viable option. At the very least, it would have been away from overly fucking citizens. Then, why was Haru still murdered in District 6? I guess it was meant that the killer wasn't entirely in charge of his circumstances? Things didn't happen accordingly to his plan? So then, the question we must ask is this. Why and how was Haru murdered? I can't answer all that. You're killing me over here, kid. Fine, I'll rephrase it. Remember how every victim previous logged in for curfew before they disappeared? Yeah? But Haru didn't. He was away from school even before curfew tolled. See? Something weird. Besides, the obvious break-in pattern. Holy smokes, kid. The pattern is odd. Why would the killer kidnap students after curfew? Let's say I'm your everyday Joe. Well, your everyday psychopathic Joe. I need to kill a couple of people here and there, and for reasons unknown, it has to be a bunch of kids at the super uptight private school. When would I choose to strike? After curfew? When would I strike? When would I choose to strike? After curfew? Then tell me, why that's an obvious disadvantage, ignoring the obvious security problem. It would... Let's see. Delay sleep patterns? Are you kidding me? Take place in a hard-to-seek dark campus? Limit the suspect pool? I think it might be the second one, right? Because take place in a hard-to-seek campus, it's like... Okay, let me read it. It is a disadvantage, because security locks down on the school after curfew. Only a few people can be out and about. the suspect would be limited to students or maintenance staff like the janitor or the security team. Good. Hardly ideal circumstances for a killer. So, pretty safe to presume that he wouldn't act after curfew unless he was absolutely needed to. Which means that Harubunya's missing curfew was his own choice, because if the killer kidnapped him before curfew, then why didn't he do so to the other students? Unless this time was an exception. Hey, everything can be an exception. You never get a working theory that way. Now, let me ask you about this. Haru skipped curfew while the killer is confined. Night falls. Unlike the other victim, Haru is out of school, but still ends up being killed. He probably thought he would be safer if he hadn't confined to the curfew. Oh no, you don't think that. You think that he went to look for the killer. There's no proof of that. I wouldn't say that. It's easy enough to stay safe in public. 24-hour fast food restaurants with CCTVs, public hospitals, even the police department for crying out loud. The killer might know the school security system like the back of his hand, but he can't control all of Isamu. And Haru didn't seem like the stupid type. Just so, coincidence? Probably not. Good boy. But if that's the case, why wouldn't he tell anyone his suspicions? You tell me. Because he didn't have any. He was just gonna tell the first guy who left the school. And on that note, why didn't he notify the police if he was gonna take such a risky action? Why wouldn't he notify the police? Why wouldn't he indeed? This is what you want me to feel. Correction. This is what you want you to feel. Because I have to understand what Haru is thinking. You only don't understand Haru. You only don't understand Haru because you're distancing yourself too much. It's time to get real, kid. Check that phone of yours. Check my phone? I stumble out of my concentration in a disorientment. Still in the subway, which is completely empty. How long have I been thinking? I peer around the abandoned platform. Nothing but a soft flicker of a dim lights. Well, I guess it makes sense. This isn't exactly a major station. A dull vibration in the pocket of my pants redirects my attention. Ah, that's right, my phone must have been vibrating all day. From Shigori, probably, to lure me somewhere or someplace or another, or some teacher to warn me about my absence. Maybe even a friend who's wondering where I've been. It probably was vibrating from the moment I entered the subway, vibrating intensively. Commotion. I tend to shut it out when I'm overwhelmed, distracted from my reality, as Mr. Rialto would call it. Childhood trauma. Learned behavior. Coping mechanisms. Oh, I'm fucking tired. I'm sorry. It's like 2 in the morning right now. Like, I almost forgot about this episode. Like, I literally almost forgot about this episode. One moment, the world is there, and the next is just me, alone with the figureheads inside my brain. A caricature. What the fuck? A caricature. Fuck. Of Mr. Ryota to help me think better, or a caricature of Rui to help stabilize my emotions. Such extremes haven't been necessary for years. After all, what's excitement happened in high school? Gossip, relationship, bullying. But now, I'm distant. I feel it in myself. Something hollow, cold. Something that apparently couldn't even notice the vibrations of my own phone. Well, guess everyone eventually noticed. I humor myself and scroll through the notifications. Daily mundane life I expect. Who the fuck is blowing up my phone? 4 messages. Sarge, I hate to disturb your 1,000-year slumber, but have you seen your distant princess? Dude, have you seen Rui? Is Rui with you? Rui's MIA after school. Respond ASAP. Rui? is missing? I don't even realize it, but my fingers weaken and my phone slides through the space between my knuckles and turns end over and over. Clatters to the ground. The straw impact of fine glass against the concrete echoes down the hollow, utterly abandoned passage in which I sit. Rui, missing. Rui is missing. It started out as a disappearance. 3 times, a disappearance from school. A mysterious vanishing after a log curfew. No one can find them. No one can contact them. Phones are tracked, and I found it in the garbage disposal. CCTV footage turns up corrupted, or deleted, or looped. Then the bodies are found, peeled, sliced, ripped apart, the mutilated remains of what was once a human being. What if one of those bodies, one of those victims, someone who gave terrible rending screams that only went unheard, was Rui? Waking up in a cold dark, greeted by a pale, croaky voice, seeing nothing but the scene of a blade in the moonlight, something that shouts through flesh. I force a shaky breath into my lungs as my chest constricts. The world pulses. Rui is the next victim. An afternoon disappearance. Another break in the pattern. One more shaky breath. My vision spins. Rui is with the killer, with someone whose mask is perfect, who disappears without a trace, who eludes the police without effort. Like everything is just a game. Someone who isn't caught by any army of highly trained officers of the law enforcement. Someone who can never dream of catching. Rui is going to die, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just a 17-year-old kid, hiding in the subway like a homeless beggar, a refugee from police custody. Rui smiles, her teasing, her nagging, gone, just like that. Another figure who enters my life, only to leave me, violently ripped away before her time. Another person who deserves to live so much longer. Pull yourself together. Oh, it's Elizabeth. Oh, now you're Elizabeth. Man, this bitch might be long. I'm not gonna lie. This will either be the ending of the game, or this is gonna be a long ass video. I'm calling it right now. Ugh. Moping around doesn't help anyone. If you want to be useful, then be useful. Lizzie? Figures I'll see you. You like to challenge me. Guess this time wouldn't be any different. So, things are hopeless. What amazing advice do you have for me? This comes almost mockingly. A crushing weight has filled the space that was once empty and shocked. I have nothing left but sarcasm and cynicism. In response, Elizabeth's image flickers into Mr. Burrito. There's still a key that you have to remember about Haru's case. A key? Recall it. How did you stumble on the killer in the first place? Haru sent me a location ping. It's only after the sentence spills out with too much ease that I realize it's irregular. Haru sent me a location ping. You're not even close. We're not even close. Not only that, but there was barely any time between the location ping and his death. So somehow in his last moments, just before he died, he decided to send the location ping to me? I fervently racked my brain for an answer. Would Haru really do that? Would he really put the fate of his life on me? I scanned through the flowcharts of known ways people socialize in my head, but it turns a blank. My brain is freezing. I can't see beyond the mental images of stumbling on Rui's body, cold and bloody, mouth open in the last remnant of a scream. No, Haru, location ping. Why would he send it? Why would... Blood, terror, the crushing force of water. No, stop, must think. I force all of the habits from excessive therapy sessions into practice. Deep breaths, tall spine, tense all muscles, and relax slowly from top to bottom. Her life is at stake. Ruri could die any minute. Maybe she already has. Or maybe she's cramped up in whatever sick place this psycho has, waiting and deliberating the moment when nothing will be of her mind but excruciating pain. Damn it! Mr. Ryota bleeds into Elizabeth, flickers for a moment, then bleeds into Misaki. Yama! I can't do this anymore, Miki. Please, just leave me alone. I know this is hard, but right now, you're the only one with the best chance at finding the killer. Because of this damn phone? You know what? Fine. I can handle this on my own. I'm giving it to the police. Won't they just arrest you? Yeah, but they'll find out that I'm not the real killer. But they have to trust your word that someone else put that phone in your apartment, rather than you taking it from Haru himself. It could take days, maybe weeks to clear the situation, even if you are eventually found innocent. And by that time, Ruri will be dead. Miki, please, help me. Ruri, don't you love Ruri? She needs us. In that case, do you remember whether someone sent you an out-of-place location ping? I receive and send it to many damn location pings to keep track of. Maybe you can narrow it down. Or maybe you can start using your head. Before Harubunya, was there anyone else who accidentally sent you a location ping? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember something. Yeah, it was her, remember? A location ping. From Miki? Did we arrange something? I don't recall any recent conversations with her. Yeah, it was you actually. You sent me a location ping by accident. You mistapped because my name was right under... Wait, mistapped because my name and his name are next to each other. Yahiko Ikari. When I think about it, everything fits too well. Yahiko Ikari, he started the Happy Club and is connected with the 3 recent deaths, Akane, Shoji, and Haru. And before that, he also knew Midori and Tumura. And he would know a lot about the Academy's security and technology, maybe even more than the average faulty facility member, being the son of higher-ups at Lemescape. And I've seen how in a blink of an eye, he can shift from joy to depression, almost as if he had a perfect control over how he wants his emotions to be seen. And he knows me. He knows the code to my apartment, knows my schedule, knows my actions, and my reactions. And he was there. At the murder of Haru, Yahiko Ikari was there. He had coincidentally run into me, seemed flabbergasted that I was there, so kindly offered to cover for me. Yahiko Ikari, my former roommate. My friend. Well, isn't that just so damn typical? The serial killer can't just be some random chump off the street. No, he has to be someone close to me. But as my fury intensifies, as black anger, nausea, everything solidifies the blood in my body, Misaki's image fizzled into Masato's. What kind of friend were you? You know it ain't Yahiko. You known him for 2 years. I spit bitterly. Yeah, give me some proof. I love to believe it. For starters, you got no proof that some big shot organization just hacked out your lock. Might be tough to break for one person, but ain't easy as a sneeze for a team of pros. So you're saying that the serial killer could actually be an organization, and they decided to frame me when I caught one of their members killing Haru in a District 6. Well, yeah, something like that. Then something doesn't make sense. If the killer or organization, whatever, weren't close to me, it's weird that I'm still alive. Like literally, they were in my apartment. They planted the phone, right? They could have slit my throat in the middle of the night or taken me and kill me. It's weird because I'm still alive. Why wouldn't they just kill me? Witness to the crime scene, out by himself in District 6? They want to frame you, man. Framing someone who's alive does a whole lot more than framing someone who's dead, specifically if they can't defend himself. But that's the thing, how could they know that I couldn't defend myself? Huh? The only people who could possibly know about my lapses are the ones who are close to me, really close. Rui and Masaki for sure, and maybe you and Yahiko. Which means that the killer could only have been one of those 4 people. It can't be Rui, it can't be Masaki, and, well, I'm pretty sure it can't be you either. But you don't think that way for Yahiko. You want me to list the evidence alphabetically or chronologically? I can't believe it, but Yahiko actually fits. Let me answer you one more thing, man. Do you really think that Yahiko's a serial killer? I just told you that. Do you really believe that sun will rise every morning and I'll badger you into track every day that Yahiko's the man? No. I don't. I honestly don't. Everything goes against him, but for some reason, I can't imagine that Yahiko would be the serial killer. But isn't that shallow-minded? Isn't that foolish? Couldn't my reluctance lead to Rui's death? Right then. Masato Images fizzles into Akira, who jabs an energetic finger in my direction. Right, cheerio! Time to think of this from another angle. Fuck. I'm sorry, I just did that voice. I'm like, right, cheerio! Fucking hurt my throat. Like, oh fuck, I didn't do warm-ups. That's why that bitch hurts. Don't get me wrong, fucking up, like, I could fuck up every time because I can't read for shit, but my throat's killing me right now. It's because I didn't do my warm-ups for the first time in like a week or 2. Fuck, my throat's hurting me like shit. We gotta ask ourselves some trick up our metaphorical sleeves, Sarge, so don't give up yet. Yeah, no offense, but you're not exactly the person I want for logical thinking. Oh, but what you need and what you want are 2 completely different things, like dying versus not dying. Well, what do you suggest? Well, you have a suspect now, right? Don't flip the turtles out before you provided whether he's guilty or innocent. That's like counting your chickens before the avian flu strikes and wipes them all out from the face of the planet. So, find proof that Yahiko's innocent. Easier said than done. Much easier said than done. Oh, I wouldn't say that, Sarge. You got something stirring in your brain of yours. Such as... Akira suddenly morphs into Misaki. Don't you remember how the killer forgot about the phone wall charging feature? Yahiko loves technology as much as I do, not to mention that his parents work at Lemescape. If he were the killer, don't you think he would have forgotten something like that? Fuck. I read that wrong too. Would have forgotten something so simple? Well, right, but by itself it's pretty weak. Misaki fizzles out, allowing Elizabeth to take the center stage. And think, what does Haru mishaps really imply? Remember, if his panic last moments, he was attempting to send the location ping to Yahiko, but his fingers slipped on you instead. Oh, of course. Why didn't I see that before? Haru was trying to send a location ping to Yahiko to... bait him, get help, distract him. What? Okay. Fuck. Come on, Gap. Big brain. Oh, of course. Why didn't I see that? Haru was trying to send a location ping to Yahiko to... distract him, bait him, get help. I'm gonna say get help. I don't know why. Or bait him. Get help. Haru wants to let Yahiko know that he was in danger. If Yahiko saw that he was in District 6, well, I think that even Yahiko would know that something was wrong. Correct! Oh shit, really? Also, Haru must eventually been able to get a signal through. because he showed up, even if it was after me. Not only that, but he had already called the police. I'm trying to help you, dude. You have to get out of here now. Why would I? Go! Leave! Which means that your entire bias for suspecting Yahiko Kari is now null and void. A part of me relaxes, but I realize that this doesn't actually solve anything. Ruri's gone, and I'm nowhere closer to discovering the killer than I was before I started thinking. Ruri is still in danger. I'm still a runaway convict. The serial killer is still running amok, having a little grim party. Is there nothing I can do? Nothing? Wait one moment. Think, why did Haru not notify the police before he began telling the killer? Like me, he's a capable individual. Why don't just miss such a things? Dude, it's 3 in the fucking morning, fuck. Why indeed? Why would Haru have requested backup, or at least given an anonymous tip? He didn't trust the police, he didn't want to alert the killer, he lost access to his phone? Well, I don't believe the last part. He didn't want to alert the killer, or he didn't trust the police. Well, he didn't want to alert the killer. Maybe he thought if he had spoke with the police, the killer would have learned about it and started playing safe. But that leads to a different assumption. The assumption that the killer would somehow learn about any information told to the police. In other words, the police are corrupt. If that's the case, then it would make sense why Haru wouldn't contact them. Simply put, he didn't trust them. Didn't trust them. Why? A personal traumatic encounter, a previous difficulty in dealing with law enforcement, or could it be something else? Could it be that Haru saw something in the police, something that he could never forget? You know him more than I do. What is your opinion on the matter? He was my errand boy. You claim to be good at reading people. Are you saying that you misread the suspect? I am not wrong. Then you agree that Yama Ishimoto is a prime suspect. I agree. Could Haru have been corruption? Could have seen corruption? Why is it that students from the first... Could Haru have seen corruption? Why is it that a student was the first to think of camping outside the school and telling the serial killer? Why is it that the investigation force didn't even go through the school, scouring the area for any evidence on the killer? Why is it that no city's CCTV ever turned up with any results? What if all of this, sitting behind a curtain, watching us dance? The police was just there, laughing, watching us run in fear as they pretended that they're trying to protect us. And that would mean Haru died for nothing. Yahiko called for nothing. And now, Ruri will disappear, will be shredded into pieces, will be left to rot for nothing. And there's nothing, not one damn thing, that I can do. Catch the killer, find the evidence, package him up and ship him to the police department, and he'll just walk free because it was all part of the plan. Or worse yet, that they won't catch him. They have him surrounded, and he miraculously breaks free, and they'll give him a chance to, and he'll give chase like a bunch of fools. And Ruri will die for nothing. Ruri, with her fiery passion and love for her endless enthusiasm for her dear ones, will pass into the fate of nullicism, where there is no intrinsic value, no purpose, no beneficial weight to her sacrifice for me. She'll be remembered, maybe by a mention for victims who were the target of a horrifying serial killer who will, maybe one day, be brought to justice. That would be her only identity, a murder victim, a girl who had her whole life ahead of her, one more poor soul in the annual of injustice. No one would know her smile, or little quips, or the way she bit her lips when she was nervous about something. No, that name, Ruri Hayata, would only bring naught of pity and disappointed sighs, as if she's really lucky, fueled for a movement for treatment of mental illness or weapon control or some other political objective. And then, as days pass on, as time becomes months and years and decades, she'll be forgotten forever, drowned out in the names of other victims who will be remembered with nothing but nods of pity and disposition sighs. Nothing but non-existent. Okay. Should I end it here? It's like a fucking hour, man. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna do this for one more, guys. If nothing comes up, if I get like another person that comes out, you know what I mean? I'm ending the video, and we'll do like a two-parter. Ari suddenly appears and stares at me with a sudden intensity that I swear she's almost real. Do not lose focus. Her image blurs at the edges, rounding out, hair turning orange, and... Gosh, you're a wreck! What happened? I open my mouth. A feeble, unintelligible noise bleeds out. You try too much, Yama. That's the problem. You want to do everything, but everything becomes so overwhelming that you just end up doing nothing. You can only do what you can. The rest is out of your hands. I can only do what I can. Yeah, and right now, all you can do is figure out who the killer is. You're up for that much, right? So, you're stuck because you think the killer has to be you, Yahiko or Masato, right? I guess. My voice comes out very small. I quash the temptation to reach out, touch her jacket, her hair, anything. Fuck, sorry, I'm messing around my chair right now. If you hear like, like noises, that's my chair. I'm putting my leg on my chair because I'm like, trying to keep myself up, man. It's gonna be 3. Wait, no. It is 3. It's gonna be 4. Shit. Well, no, it's like 3:20. Shut up, Gap. But right now, she's not real. Right now, she might even be... Are you paying attention? No. Wow, I think I finally know what it's like to be one of your teachers. I cough out a cough comes across between a chuckle and a snort. It's so close to reality, but it's not. Then, oh, all-knowing teacher, what do you have to say? Well, your passcode is literally so stupid that anyone who saw it just once could get in. But that's not the problem. The problem is that the killer knows about my lapses. No, wait. There's something strikingly familiar about what she said. Didn't she mention this before? Didn't she say something like this before? There's something vitally important about her statement. Your passcode is literally so stupid that anyone who saw it just once gets in. What sticks out so much? Anyone. Just once? Your passcode. Fuck, man. Anyone. That anyone who saw it could get in. The killer could have been anyone, so long as they seen me enter my code. No, that's too strange. It's not like I show my code to the world when I enter it, and even if the killer somehow did see some random point, there's no reason for him to memorize the code entry of some random kid. That was something else. There was something else. One thing I know is important, but I can't think of it. Just once? Your passcode. I think it's just once. Fuck. Just once. She's been talking about someone who has seen my code just once. Someone who commented on how stupid it was. Please, your code is the stupidest possible code to exist on the planet. Even Mr. Ryota pointed it out how stupid it was. Oh, wait. Jiro Ryota. A man who helped me on me move into my apartment, who commented how stupid the code was, who certainly would remember it. A man who knew all the victims because they were each fighting psychological problems, and he was a school counselor. A man who know the security of school inside and out, yet would not be up to date with the latest feature of smartphones, like a wall charger. A man who was strong enough to inflict some wounds on as a serial killer, smart enough to outmaneuver the police, control enough to fake sanity in the day. A man who, after curfew, is free from his duties. And a man who would approach me after seeing me at Haru's murder site, surprised that I didn't see to remember what had happened. A man who'd certainly be curious at my unusual reaction. A man who could access the confidential school records and learn about my lapses from there. A man who I trusted. Trusted too much. Why? It's not you. There's something else I must have missed. A proof, a theory, anything. Why? Why did it have to be you? You damn old geezer. Why would you even... Why? Nothing but silence. The silence of finality, of a door that's been opened and never been closed. All tension leaves my body. I can vaguely feel myself slumping on the subway bench, neck uncomfortably stretched to accommodate the weight on my head. Mr. Ryota, my mentor, my friend, and the serial killer. You're really different today, Yama. What's bothering you? Back then, I should have seen it. Because why hadn't anyone else noticed? Why was Mr. Ryota the only one who thought something had happened that night? Who, me? Nah, I'm pretty much a free bird after I verified curfew. I had my suspicions. I know that there was something odd about him. But I didn't want there to be. I wanted to wave it away. I wanted to trust Mr. Ryota. I wanted just one person who would understand everything and stay on my side. Well, there's no explicit rule saying that I can't use the confidential database. I'm pretty sure that there is. Nope. I may be faculty, but I'm not a teacher. It's only stated that teachers have to request special permission. I checked the loopholes. What? No, I should have seen it. Right. You know how the entry student application to the academy requires a psychological analysis by a qualified physician, yes? Yeah, another security measure, isn't it? Let me read this and see what you think. He knew about my lapses, not because I told him, but because he had access to psychological overview of each student. He would have known each of the victims. Maybe they're assigned to his counseling care, just like I was. Gosh, I hate computers. But we'll all be dead without them. You know what was great? My desktop iPad, man, that was great. Stable, awesome, and a killer world of the fan. You guys don't know how satisfying it is to hear a computer work to keep itself cool. That's kind of weird. No casual user has a desktop anymore. Oh, and icon phones. Man, phones these days could break in if you breathe on them. Wrong. Icon phones. They could have survived a nuclear blast. And there we go, finally working. And he knew about computers. Not a avid follower of electronics. Not enough to know about the weed, but enough to know about phone batteries. Instead of detention, the teacher convinced that I need more permanent solutions. Like death. I can help you with that. Oh wait, no, that was me? Instead of detention, the teacher convinced that I needed a more permanent solution. Like death? I can help you with that. So, how's the apartment? Still in one piece, mostly. Good to hear. And Phil? Phil? The little houseplant. The one I placed on your shelf. Your memory sucks more than mine, kid. Wow. How do you have this much free time? Life as a dorm manager is so swell, isn't it? Like dice-cut pieces of a complex puzzle, all the facts and memories line up in a perfect sequence. The killer is Mr. Ryota. Now I know it with certainty. Interestingly, just like I know I can sit on a chair. it supports my weight. Or I could walk under a bridge and it won't fall on top of me. I just don't know what to do next. Should there be a sense of triumph? A miniature party in the back of my head, giving me a cookie for success finding out the killer? Something's keeping me going, something propelling me to the next step. I know the identity of the killer. Should I report this? But to whom? I'm on the run from the police, who may or may not be corrupt. I can hardly show my face at school if I call Mr. Ryota. And if I call Mr. Ryota, well, that simply wouldn't do anything. For the most part, it feels like I should just give up. There's nothing further to head to. No way out of the conundrum I worked myself into. The situation requires to be clever. More clever than I can be. I want to think myself out. Find some magical solution. But sometimes, it's just not there. Reaching into an empty bag and expecting handfuls of gold. Then, is this it? And I'm gonna end it there. We found out who the killer is. It's Mr. Ryota. This thing's been going for an hour. And I'm fucking tired. I'm sorry, but I am tired of shit. Anyway, if you like those videos, fuck, there's a lot of editing I have to get out of there. So much editing. Fuck, hopefully I find it. I said my name, my real name, like just the first letter of my real name. Like my first name. And fuck, man, I gotta edit that out. And I gotta edit out so fucking much, like towards the end. But hopefully you like this video. Hopefully it turns out good, even though... Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to see whenever I post, and leave a comment. Alrighty, I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully it's the last episode. Well, farewell, and as always, bye bye.